Have you ever encountered somebody that is so emotional that they just come into every room and almost just like take over? Like they're just kind of messy and you feel like, how can I deal with their mess and keep my sanity intact? Today, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how do we navigate through like messy, emotionally messy people. So this sounds like fun. I'm Dennis. This is Lisa, and it's the Drama Free Living podcast, Lisa. So emotionally messy people, like what do you think about when I say that?
I honestly, I think of a few people in my life that when they come in the room, I literally do. I have to buckle my seatbelt because I'm like, I have no idea what's going to come out of their mouth or what's going to come through those doors. And I have to be mentally and emotionally and even physically prepared for that interaction because I know it could be a wild ride. I mean, it's the roller coaster of life walking right through my door there.
Yeah. Well, you know what I thought about is to describe this. Remember like the therapist who said like you sort of have to have a strategy for whoever shows up, right?
Oh,
So
yes. That was so helpful.
Yeah. One particular relationship is like, was the sane person or the crazy person, right? If the sane person shows up, this is my strategy. But boy, if the crazy person shows up, this is my strategy. And that way you're not caught off guard. Right?
Yeah.
You're like totally prepared. I thought that was so helpful.
And that was super, super helpful for me in walking into a family reunion because I didn't know when I met up with this person if I was going to get the crazy person or the sane person or the manipulator. And I'm like, okay, I'm not really sure. And he was like, it's an easy solution. You just have a path for each one. And then when you meet them and you know which one is going to show up, you know what you're going to do. It's already predetermined. The course is pre-decided. And that helped me, and it gave me so much peace and so much a sense of safety just walking into that, knowing I got this.
Yeah.
No matter what happens and no matter who shows up.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Yes, we're not. I mean, we're talking about family right now, but you might be sitting there going, "Hey, in my family, we don't have any emotionally messy people." You might be that person then. Okay, you might be the person that we're talking about. No, but even at work, right? It's like just all relationships in general. We're not just talking about family. And I think at the end of the day, Lisa, just thinking about we have to deal with this idea of
me. You okay there?
Okay, we're better. I just coughed in the microphone, but we're running live. We're running hot, and here we go. Yeah, I'm doing good. Don't laugh at me, right? And so this idea of many times when I'm trying to like deal with messy people, I want to kind of control them. Do you ever have that a little bit? It's like, I don't want you to be, so it ends up being control issues. So let's kind of navigate.
Yeah, no, I don't deal with that.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think you did, right? But the reality is like relationships are messy, right? And really managing them effectively, it eliminates some of the drama, the stress, right? And I always know whenever I have a lot of stress, sometimes in relationships, I'm typically controlling something that I can't control. I don't want them to be this way, right? So I'm trying to control them and almost manipulate the situation.
Right.
And that's where a lot of my stress comes from.
I think a lot of my stress in dealing with messy relationships is I'm feeling controlled. And I don't want to feel controlled.
Yeah.
But their messiness and their emotional chaos is kind of I don't know, takes the breath out of me. It's kind of like feels like drowning.
Yeah. And so we want to talk about, hey, let's just talk about some strategies, like things that we have found helpful.
Yeah.
And we think they're going to kind of maybe help you find helpful. I think the very first thing when I think about it is always stay calm and grounded yourself, right? It's like you got to regulate your own emotions first before reacting. And if you start to like feel yourself starting to like be triggered, it's time to take a time out, right? Because you can either respond or you can react. And whenever I react, Lisa, good things don't happen.
Yeah. Well, and also we can be talking about people have different things happening in their lives all the time. There's chaos happening in any given number of people that you work with in their life right now today. And some people just handle it really well. Some people shove it down. But then there's other people that they're just chaos all the time. And sometimes it's just the season of life they're in, and it's really hard, and you're just thankful that you're not in that season of life. But regardless whether or not they are just emotionally out of control, or if it's just a really heavy time in their life, being able to know, okay, this person is dealing with a lot right now, and so I know I'm going to have an interaction with them. We're having a meeting, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm in a good place, that I'm calm and grounded, and that I can walk into this with just centered, that I can walk into it centered.
Yeah, it's almost like, I mean, the whole core of like even the course and the coaching program on emotionally intelligent really is really all about, because I can't control other people,
Right.
but how do I stay grounded myself so that I respond appropriately? Because it's this idea we have all these outside events, like how people act, how they respond, like what happens, right? And then I have my response. And that response determines the outcome. And I don't have to be dictated by these outside circumstances. It's
Right.
always like what happens with inside of me. It's this idea that all the water in the world won't sink my boat unless it gets in my boat.
Yeah.
And so it's this idea, don't let the water get in your boat. Like you are responsible for you. And I always like, at least we had some interactions yesterday where I did find myself being triggered and I had to step back and not blame you for that trigger.
Right.
I had to step back and go, okay, what was it inside of Dennis? Lisa said this and it irritated Dennis.
Now, granted, Lisa had a really crappy day
Oh,
yesterday. She was just not, I was not in my best form yesterday.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
But regardless, right?
But regardless, so I was messy yesterday.
Yeah.
And you had the opportunity, you had the choice to stay calm and stay grounded, and you had the choice to set clear boundaries.
Yeah. And I had the ability to do that.
Mhm.
Right. And so like I had to step back and go, why did I get triggered? Like why,
Right.
right? What she said that. And so that irritated me. Well, what in me?
Right.
Right. And when I really break it down for me, and this is not true maybe for everybody, but it really is a form of selfishness. Right. You know, it's more about, you know, I want to control how you feel. I don't want you to feel that way. So I'm going to try to control it. Right. And that never works out.
Yeah, that
You're right.
doesn't
You
work
cannot
out.
control messy people. If people are messy a little bit. Okay. So
You can't control unmessy people either. You just can't control people.
yeah, well, and so here's the thing. Here's what we're saying, okay, is that we try to allow people to feel any feeling they want to feel. Now, with that being said, there are standards of behavior, right? We have standards of behavior. Like, you know, I'm okay with you feeling irritated. You just have to smile on your face when you're talking to customers, right?
That's true.
I'm okay with you feeling irritated. You just can't complain.
When
just
when
can't
I'm at
gossip.
work, I need to
Yeah.
show up professional at work.
Right.
I need to be able to put on that professional hat.
Or here's a way that leaders sort of fall a little bit into some of this drama is some say, well, I don't like to do that. And so I'm spending all my energy trying to get you to like to do it. Right. And at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not going to try to get you to like it. We just have to do it.
Yeah.
It's part of your job. And so sometimes like really staying out of other people's fantasy, because a lot of times when we're emotionally charged, a lot of times it is a fantasy. It's like a story we have made up. And so stay out of the fantasy. Another way, so like with calm and grounded, but also like you said, set clear boundaries.
You're right.
Right? What is acceptable? What is not acceptable behavior in the relationship? And then communicate those boundaries.
Right. Like for instance, I appreciate you wanting to talk right now. Right now is not a good time. And you seem to be a little bit charged up. And I think I need for us to wait to have this conversation for a little bit. And I just know he is emotionally charged right now, and it's just going to be an attack. And so I'm just saying, I need to not have this conversation right now.
Yeah.
Or I'm really hungry right now, and I really need to go eat first. After I eat, we can go ahead and have a talk.
Right. And so really learning like how to define some of these boundaries really clear. And what we have seen is that, many times people don't want the problem solved. They just want the tension to go away.
Yeah.
And Lisa, people need the tension. Like I need the tension to grow. You need the tension to grow. Like,
tension is actually healthy. There's healthy tension. There's unhealthy tension, but there's also healthy tension.
And almost like allow that tension to happen, right? So that they step in and kind of go through some of the hard things. And then I think
now with the healthy tension and the unhealthy tension, that's the situation when you're going into a gym and you're using weights and you're working out. There you come out with a soreness because of the tension that you put on your muscles and the requirement and the stress that you put on your muscles. And you know that your muscles are growing because of that healthy tension, that healthy stress, that healthy pull, and you're sore. Now, there's the other kind of soreness, like when you are coming down with a virus and your body aches all over, that's the unhealthy tension. That's the unhealthy soreness. And you know it's not, because I worked out and I just had a really good workout. It's because I need to pull back and I need to take care of my body. But on the other hand, that healthy tension, being in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
you embrace that soreness. You're not, I mean, I can remember
Yeah.
years ago, you would go, you'd be like, oh, I'm so sore. I think maybe I'm getting sick. Well, it was actually like, no, you went on like a really long run yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
Of course you're
Yeah.
sore.
Yeah.
And it was healthy. And so understanding that's the difference between healthy tension and unhealthy tension. That's the difference between healthy conflict and unhealthy conflict. Healthy conflict is what grows you. Healthy tension, things that are uncomfortable when they help grow you. But then there's the unhealthy that is actually dysfunctional maybe, or codependent, or and it's leading down the path of sickness.
Yeah. Well, and I think understanding like that healthy, unhealthy tension really helps you practice empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it's totally okay for you to have the tension, and I'm okay with it.
Right.
Right? And I understand it.
Yeah.
And I know I have similar feelings at times.
Right.
So I don't make a judgment. I don't try to to fix you.
Yeah.
Right? I allow you to be.
Mm-hmm.
And realizing like, hey, I've experienced that too. And so many times when I'm making a judgment, I'm no longer connecting. And I think it's this idea is that we can either, as we're working with people, we can either be correct or we can connect. We just can't do both at the same time.
Right.
And I always first want to connect before we confront anything, before we correct anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so the goal should always be connection.
And connecting looks like saying something like, yeah, I really appreciate you telling me that.
Yeah.
Or thanks for letting me know. Or tell me more about that. Or do you want to talk about it?
Or do you want support or do you want a solution?
Yeah.
Right. So really, I think as leaders, we have to work first to connect. Now we got to correct. We have to confront situations, but first connect before you confront.
Mm-hmm.
First connect before you correct.
Yeah.
And if I always go into correct and confront without first connecting, it's like I lose people's hearts. I lose their engagement. And listen, I might
lose their trust.
I might get compliance of behavior. Right. I might get compliance, but when it comes to hard things like down the road and hard conversations, that trust starts to erode. And that trust is that hidden variable that we really want. You can actually build trust with emotionally messy people.
Well, and that's where you come into turnover in the workplace.
Oh, so much so.
And retention.
Right.
And when you can build this, then you build your retention and you save thousands and thousands of dollars. But when you lose this trust, then that's when you get the turnover. And the cost to replace someone and to train them, to onboard them is pretty significant. It's just a lot easier to work on building this trust, work on building this empathy, work on building, in addition to directing and correcting and feedback.
Yeah. So I was just thinking like a lot of Leadership 101 and like that whole coaching, frameworks are really all about how do you manage emotionally messy people? Like, so when you think about the 6 different frameworks and the 6 different sessions. So we'll put a link in the show notes. So if you have maybe emotionally messy people that you're managing, this is absolutely the coaching program for you. It's basically 6 sessions over 6 months, live interactive sessions with a coach where you get actually practical strategies and talk to people just like you that are dealing with the same thing and the same challenges. So we'll put a link there, but it really helps you do that. Another idea says, this is something, a work in progress. You do it better than me, I think, at times, is really use I statements rather than you statements, right? You want to communicate your own feelings and your own reactions, not so, hey, you said this. No, what I heard you say was, right? Because if I say, hey, you said this, guess what? Now we're confronting, we're not correcting, right? We're not connecting, we're correcting. Instead of going, hey, what I heard you say was blank, right? This is what,
this is what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought, or this is how I interpreted.
Right. So it's my interpretation.
When you said whatever.
It's my thought. And then we can
when
speak
we had
to that.
this conversation, this is what I thought. And I'm not sure if I was thinking right or not. Is that right? Is that what you meant?
Yeah, because I think with emotionally messy people, it's defensiveness kicks in really quick.
So quick. I
mean, it is right. And it's like as soon as you defend, you cannot learn. They cannot learn. You cannot, right? And now we are in a battle of we're right fighting. I know I said this. No, you said this. I'm like, really? Really? Hey, let's connect. Let's get out of the emotion of it. Let's get out of the charge and let's make forward progress.
You never win when you right fight.
Never do.
Never
No.
win.
Here's a big one. Don't try to fix them.
And you know what? They know when you're trying to fix them. Even
Yeah.
when you backdoor it. It just, they know. I know. You know.
It's been known to happen. I'm great at the backdoor part, right? I'm not really
Yeah.
fixing it, but I really am fixing it,
Yeah.
right?
They know. Just stop. Just don't.
Saying for a friend. We don't know who, we don't know, but just saying for a friend. Yeah. I mean, because nobody likes to be fixed. And one of the great questions that we've discovered is this whole question with people is like, they bring you this emotional mess. It's like, do you want support or do you want a solution?
Yeah. Don't be like, so, do you want some feedback on that? Yeah. Just don't.
Right. You might as well just give it, right? It's not, you're actually not asking, you're actually telling.
So when somebody that's emotionally messy, there's things going on, they come in and they're saying, "Oh man, you know, my car blew up," and da 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 da. You just kind of let them talk, and then pause.
Mm-hmm.
After they're done talking, you pause because sometimes there's more,
Yeah.
and we really need to get to the meeting and we need to start. But we all know we're not going to get anything done until they get it off their chest, until they just get it out, and then. You know, say, wow, you know, thanks for telling me. I appreciate that.
Well, another phrase, and we call this running people out of gas, is to simply ask them, well, so is there anything else? Right.
You have to be very
You
careful.
do. It's all in the tone. Okay. It is all in the tone. It's nuanced in the tone. But if you do it out of a heart of love, care, and concern, it's like, hey, well, tell me a little bit.
Or first you want to contract with them and say, do you want to talk about it?
Absolutely.
And so first you contract with them and then you say, well, hey, do you want to talk about it? And they might say, no, I just needed to say it. And then it's done.
Okay, then you just need to say it.
Then it's done. But if they say, yeah, I do want to talk about it, and then they say a little bit, and then that's when you can put in, okay, so is there anything else? But it's only after first contracting with them.
Well, and it's the power of the contract, right? It allows the boundary to happen.
Yeah.
Right. There's even a time, Lisa, I think that you came to me a couple weeks ago and you said, hey, I got some feedback on that if you do want it. And I remember saying no. And I remember you go,
I'm like, but I really got some good things.
Right, I really want to tell you. And I'm like, nope, not right now. Right. And so
then I had to do some breathing exercise. Okay.
But it keeps an adult to adult conversation. It keeps those boundaries, right? The contract keeps the boundaries, and it really keeps you out of that fixing mode, right? And nobody wants to be fixed. Another idea is you got to detach with love, right? It's like you detach from this situation, like things get heated, right? Don't get hooked into the drama. It's like you just manage your own self. You just detach. And the thing is, you detach from the outcome. Most of the things that I get hooked into is I'm attached to the outcome. So when I'm emotionally attached, I don't think clearly. My focus is a little fuzzy, and then I step into my own drama.
Okay, so talk about detach with love, because to me that's a little foggy. Like I'm not quite sure. I think I know what you're saying, but I'm not quite sure what you're saying.
Well, I'm okay for you to not be okay.
Right.
Right. I'm okay. It's okay for you
to have a bad day.
It's
or
okay.
to have a tough situation.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't feel like I care about you. I don't want that to happen for you. I wish it were different, but I'm okay. And I'm here to support you. You tell me what you need.
Right.
And if you don't need anything, I'm just going to detach from the outcome.
And I don't have to feel bad. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they're going through that. I can't believe, I hope they're okay. And then allowing that inner dialogue to be running basically, because then you're living in someone else's problems.
Well, and then how many times does somebody have a bad day, and because you have a bad day, I have a bad day? What craziness is that? Right? It's okay for you to have a bad day. Just speaking for a friend. I know I've never dealt with that or ever done that.
Right.
Yeah. I think encouraging self-responsibility.
Right.
Right? I literally helping people own their own. So like when people say, well, she just made me mad. I go, well, did she make, what did she, right? Or did you feel mad? Right? I felt mad. I felt angry. I felt irritated. I felt annoyed. Right? I felt disrespected. Right? It's like, hey, you got to own that feeling, right? Because if I don't believe it's it's almost this idea is that you can't attack me unless I believe you are.
Right.
You cannot attack me unless I believe you. So if I believe it's an attack, whose belief am we working with? My belief. Right? So I got to own that. Now, we're not rationalizing, justifying any of the behavior, right? We're not saying, oh, that was a great thing to say, right? We're not saying that wasn't mean or arrogant what they did or disrespectful what they did, but you have to own your feeling about that,
Right.
right? And so, hey, you got to own that. And then what does that say about you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if I don't believe it's an attack, it's not, which is a huge third person perspective skill. And I think here's the thing. When people are emotionally messy, they can't read the label when they're inside the bottle. So your goal is to get them to help them read the label of their own bottle. But you don't do it by telling, you do it by asking them these questions.
And just reflecting.
And reflecting back on it, right? So just really encouraging, right? Because when things happen, you can either complain or you can create. You just can't do both, right? So you sort of get to choose. Hey, are we going to complain or are we going to create? Are we going to complain for 5 minutes? All right, 5 minutes, right? But because many times what I have realized is that I can't complain about what I permit. And most of the things, even in my life, I've permitted them. Right? I've been mad at you about something, but at the end of the day, I've permitted.
It's your mad.
It's my mad, and I've permitted it. Yeah. I think a big one is seek support, for yourself.
Right.
Find others. Leadership 101 is part of the reason that we created it is because we wanted you to have a support structure for dealing with emotionally messy people. So if you have emotionally messy people, whatever you got to do, join into Leadership 101.
Yeah.
Right? It's a great program.
Yeah. And seeking support for yourself, it can be finding others to just confide in, or it can even be just giving yourself a break. You have a meeting with someone that tends to be emotionally messy, and you just know you need to pad in probably about a 15-minute break afterward to go outside, get some fresh air, change the scenery, because that's a way to support yourself to kind of decompress, reset, so you can step into your next meeting or into your next project fresh and not carrying the weight of all of that emotional vomit.
Because here's the thing. When people are emotionally messy, they vomit, okay? And many times they vomit all over you. Now, what you want to be able to wear is you want to be able to wear this Teflon suit. Right?
Yeah,
and
the COVID suit.
The COVID suit, right? Yeah, it's like it just hits you and just goes right down. It just doesn't even get on your clothes, right? Boom, just goes right down on the floor and there it is, right? But it's not on you. But how many times do people that are emotionally messy, they're emotionally messy and then it gets in us, right? All their throw up gets on us.
And that's just gross.
That is gross, right? But you've allowed it. Okay, so what we want you to see is a lot of times, like as leaders, we blame our team for these things, but you know what? You let that get on your clothes, right? So people will throw up. We're not going to say, oh, no, people are people. People are messy. They're going to throw up, but man, it doesn't have to get all and stain your clothes, right? You can have a very great, productive, happy day and have an emotionally messy person that's having a horrific day around you, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? Allow them to own their stuff. And so I think this is really modeling, healthy habits, right? So responding calmly, right? Just giving honest feedback. Another key skill is the emotional regulator.
Yeah.
Right? Think about, what's the number? Like how big is this?
Right.
Right? So if it's 100, right, treat it but many times things are not 100, they're a 5 or a 6 or a 10.
Yeah.
So you just asking yourself, okay, what's the number?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the number for this?
And I know for me, when I'm dealing with emotionally messy people or people that are just having a really emotional event in their life, if I can stay calm and I can stay empathetic and regulated, and if I keep myself from getting ramped up, then it helps them begin to de-escalate. But if I ramp up and I'm like, I cannot believe they did that. Are you serious? And then I'm ramping them up, and then I'm using my energy to ramp them up, and then they're using their energy to ramp me up. And by the time, you're going a million miles an hour. But if I can just stay calm, like truly calm, not a fake calm, but like a true calm.
This is real leadership right here. This is real leadership right here.
These are some tough skills to learn, but it's like if I can truly be calm and be like, wow, do you want to talk about it? And if I can just continue to breathe, there's different techniques of grounding. Like you can ground when you're talking to someone that's emotionally messy, and it's something very easy, like touching the tips of your fingertips while somebody's and you can do it on your lap under your other hand and nobody knows. Another one is like squiggling your toes.
You give me all your secrets. I'm asking, are you squiggling your toes right now?
It's like scrunching up your toes, and it's just a sensation that you're feeling feeling physically in your body
It's
that
good.
helps keep you grounded to
Good
the
strategy.
physical environment.
Mhm.
So while someone is emotionally progressing, it allows your body, it kind of helps put that energy somewhere else. And so those are just some things, or like a long exhale.
Mm.
And you have to do it really, really quiet, because if you do that long exhale loud, then they're going to think that, they're going to escalate more. But that if you have a couple second
Yeah.
inhale, and then your exhale is longer, and you can count to 3 or 4, and you can do it during the middle when somebody is having an emotional event. And it just helps keep you grounded, keeps you calm while they're freaking out, because then it really, really, it's a way to serve them. It's a way to help them, because sometimes people just need to just get it out.
Yeah.
And then they're fine.
It's amazing, right? So I think it's really, you can't control other people, but really this is all about how do you manage yourself through this situation. So when I think about some of these ideas, I think what I want to really work on, Lisa, is really practicing more empathy. Right.
Good.
Really stepping back. Right. I'm not responsible for other people's choices and their moods and how they feel. But, just being able to step back and practice empathy and allow them to be, not try to control them.
Right.
And what about you? What are you thinking about today?
I just appreciate the setting clear boundaries, but not just setting them, but communicating them.
Yeah. And I go back to the power of the contract. So many times, if we're not doing the contract, we're actually probably invading somebody's boundaries. So asking for permission to sort of get on their side of the line, and then to serve them.
I'd love to talk about that sometime whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Perfect way to sort of create that boundary, and you do it through contracts. I think boundaries are created by contracts.
Yep.
And so awesome. Well, listen, we put a link in the show notes for Leadership 101, and we want you to join. So if you're a manager, you got emotionally messy people, go join, be a part of the community. It's really been a great community, and I think our work is done. So we'll see you next time on the Drama Free Living podcast.